The latest news for the Lumline Telephone Society.
The telephones are ringing.
This is LTCC Radio.
With the latest news for the Landline Telephone Society, I'm Panasonic Guy. It has been an eventful week for the members of the Landline Telephone Society. Rod recently got some new phones, including the new Panasonic KX-TGU cordless telephone. More work is being done on the LTS Community PBX and website. I have been to the thrift store recently and got some new phones. A new collaboration short has been posted on our official Landline Telephone Society YouTube channel, and more videos will come soon. Unfortunately, this will be our last radio show for a while. The radio will be closed for refurbishments for the next month or so. That's the latest for now. For an update anytime, go back at any time during the show. Now, coming up onto our weather here in Cranbrook, it was currently reported as 6 degrees with winds of 15 kilometers an hour, gusting to 23 kilometers an hour. In Vancouver, it was 8 degrees with light rain with 20 kilometer an hour wind gusts. In Seattle, it was reported to be 7 degrees with winds of 9 kilometers an hour, gusts up to 13. In Shreveport, it was 22 degrees Celsius with 17 kilometer an hour wind gusts. And in Topeka, it was 19 degrees Celsius with 20 kilometer an hour winds gusting to 30. And in Derby, it was 11 degrees Celsius with winds of 30 kilometers an hour gusting to 45. And now, traffic. Currently, I can see there are winter driving conditions all around the area, including this spot here. It's saying there is compact ice between the start and the end of this road here. I see there's construction work here. There is planned ones here. And then we go more west over towards Cranbrook, we can see there is wind gusts on the road. Like there are multiple wind gusts here.
This is LTCC Radio.
Get in touch.
Call 877-454-7493, then dial 4 to be connected to LTCC Radio.
Or you can message us on YouTube Live.
This is LTCC Radio.
The telephone.
This is LTCC Radio.
The telephones are ringing.
Rod Aldfin.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back. So, welcome to my show after a while. I'm back with LTCC Radio. It's great to be back. While the Panasonic guy covered all the news that he should have regarding to me, I have nothing else to share other than, yes, I've gotten some new phones, some interesting products, some new and old phones. Then I have to also tell you that I'm working on editing some videos and posting them on my YouTube channel. Then afterwards, there's also a new phones ringing video that will be posted soon. It was recorded on the March 26th or 27th. I'm not sure, I don't remember exactly, but yeah, it was recorded on that date. And also, everybody, we are also working actively on the community PBX and our services, all thanks to Caption Chris. Also, I have been trying to work on Cisco Unity, trying to, figure it out and see how it works and get a license for it to activate it. And that has been a failure, unfortunately. So yes, we have to again search for another way to do it. Anyways, I have no other updates in my IP phone world. Everything is set up. Phone wise, I don't know. I've tried to set up everything and bring some old phones back to the setup. And to be honest, I haven't done much lately, even though I've been home for a really long time because it has been spring break. I did not get too much phone related or community related. I also made a special Go Animate video, which is for April Fools, which would be public then, and you can go and watch it. And I don't know, tell me what you think about it. It's a really interesting video to watch. I mean, it's a very short one, and I didn't spend much time on making it, but also it's an interesting one as well. And the interesting thing is that if you go on my Go Animate channel, which is a random channel I made called Folks, I don't even make content actively because it's not my main interest or goal. If you go there, you can kind of see the video title and the scenes. So it's kind of really interesting. I suggest you go and watch it. Uh, Actually, I'm gonna send a picture to some people that I know right here. Alright, yeah. So that's that. I'm also gonna check it out and watch it a little bit. You know. Anyways, in other news, we've also been quite. I at least returned to the community with full force or good amount of force these past few days. I caught up with some members, I talked. It was fun joining back again. And overall, I'm really happy and satisfied to see that this place is growing. And also, special thanks again to Caption Chris for uh, working on everything, such as the community PBX actively and improvising new features into the services that we offer. So, special thanks to you, Caption Chris, and I really appreciate it. Thank you. In other words, I'm going to end my show with a note that thank you all for watching and have a great day.
The latest news for the Lumline Telephone Society.
The telephones are ringing.
This is LTCC Radio.
With the latest news for the Landline Telephone Society, I'm Panasonic Guy. It has been an eventful week for the members of the Landline Telephone Society. Rod recently got some new phones, including the new Panasonic KX-TGU cordless telephone. More work is being done on the LTS Community PBX and website. I have been to the thrift store recently and got some new phones. A new collaboration short has been posted on our official Landline Telephone Society YouTube channel, and more videos will come soon. Unfortunately, this will be our last radio show for a while. The radio will be closed for refurbishments for the next month or so. That's the latest for now. For an update anytime, go back at any time during the show. Now, coming up onto our weather here in Cranbrook, it was currently reported as 6 degrees with winds of 15 kilometers an hour, gusting to 23 kilometers an hour. In Vancouver, it was 8 degrees with light rain, with 20 kilometer an hour wind gusts. In Seattle, it was reported to be 7 degrees with winds of 9 kilometers an hour, gusts up to 13. In Shreveport, it was 22 degrees Celsius with 17 kilometer an hour wind gusts. And in Topeka, it was 19 degrees Celsius with 20 kilometer an hour winds gusting to 30. And in Derby, it was 11 degrees Celsius with winds of 30 kilometers an hour gusting to 45. And now, currently, I can see there are winter driving conditions all around the area, including this spot here. It's saying there is compact ice between the start and the end of this road here. See, there's construction work here. There is landings here. And then we go more west, over towards Cranbrook, we can see there is wind gusts on the road. Like there are multiple wind gusts here.
This is LTCC Radio.
The telephones are ringing.
Joseph Crossland.
Hello folks, it is Joseph Crossland with you on the LTCC Radio. And I do have a couple of announcements. The first announcement was, yes, we are closing down the radio station to have some refurbishments. You might not notice anything new because first we actually have to decide whether it needs refurbishment. But I feel like we need to give the show sort of like a fresh start. We've got some new members joining soon. We've got Hunter, who's becoming a presenter, and then Kennan's going to start with the Cisco show, where he will be your Cisco news reporter. So we'll talk more about the replacements, the renovations to the Landline Telephone Society. But first, we've been working on a video, me and the Landline Telephone Society. We've been working on a YouTube short, and I'm going to play it for you now. It's the weird trend, of course. You'll understand.
Telephone enthusiasts. Of course, all our phones will ring at the same time. Wait, who's that? Hello?
We're telephone enthusiasts. Of course, we hate certain manufacturers.
We're telephone enthusiasts. Of course, we try and find anything that we can at a thrift store.
We are telephone enthusiasts. Of course, we built a community PBX.
We're telephone enthusiasts. Of course, there's always someone trying to steal our phones. Hey, give me back my True 348! There goes Angry Hunter Shopper stealing my phones again.
We're telephone enthusiasts. Of course we have our own phones cabinets.
We're telephone enthusiasts. Of course we search for telephones on eBay.
We're telephone enthusiasts. Of course, we made the Landline Telephone Society.
That was our content creators, our community, our members of the LTCC, helping us do this project. So the trend was you obviously know what the trend was from the video. But the trend has died down a bit, but we never really got to do it. And this LTS YouTube channel is really good for doing these trends, because I also have another idea which we can do in future videos, but we're gonna be, the LTS YouTube channel may still be in use. I'm not in charge of that, but the LTCC Radio is having refurbishments, so this is going to be our last show for at least a month. Plus we've got to give it up for our team. They are amazing and they deserve a break, so that's why we're shutting the show for a few weeks. If you'd like to get in touch, you can email Joseph Crossland at landlinetelephone.society.com. In other news, though, we are building the LTS website, and soon there will be a part where LTCC Radio, you'll be able to listen and comment from the website. So that's all going to be coming up in the thing. But this is what the refurbishments are all about. I'm going to be having chats with our team about refurbishments for LTCC Radio, because we have come a long way since we started. We started with just using people's songs as the jingles, but now we've come as far as to making several jingle packages that we've been through, and I am in the process of actually making a new one for the new shows. So Kennan's new show is going to be the Cisco Show with Ken and D, and then Hunter's is going to be the Analog Show with Hunter Shaber. So we're making a new package, a new ident package just for that. And it's not a robotic website that does them. I make them from scratch on GarageBand, our packages. So, yeah. After my show, it will be Chris, and then after Chris' show, we're going to have a chat with Chris about maybe some of the changes that are going to be happening to the Landline Telephone Society Content Creators Radio. The Landline Telephone Content Creators Radio, also known as LTCC Radio. Now, I want to talk a bit about the history of LTCC Radio. Well, there isn't a history, so I don't really mean like that. What I mean is, with having the history of the show, is what I mean by the history of the show. We've been going since August, so a lot has changed. We've had members stay, leave, new members since then. And it's been nice that we've been able to expand. Now, LTCC Radio was made because it was actually inspired by Hunter Show, because he was just sat one day with a microphone and we had a fake news report for another radio station. And that's when, like, me and Rod had this idea, why don't we make our own radio station for the LTS YouTube channel? So we've got a semi-radio station. It's not like we're going to be on frequencies or on in cars. We've just got our YouTube to start with. But it's a nice little show that we all get to do, and hopefully we can expand properly, because we have got 0 listeners right now. So I am hoping that we can expand properly, because we've even got our own resources. We've got like a phone number, an email, and we've got the YouTube live chat, which comes very useful to answering your comments. So we've got a great lot of resources here at the LTS. We've got the community PBX, we've got the website, we've got the wiki, and so much other stuff. And we will be expanding more. Obviously, refurbishments happen all the time here at the Landline Telephone Society. And they are definitely going to happen here on the LTCC Radio, for definite, for sure. Now, we're going to steer the subject slightly. We're going to go back to telephones. Because I am doing my setup at the minute, so it isn't complete at the minute. I've not got new phones plugged in properly and programmed yet, because I've still got to install some phones, but I'm not really feeling like it at the minute. But I will get to it in time, and that's when the next telephones ringing video will be out on my YouTube channel, That Electrics Guy. So yeah. I'm starting to give up on IP phones now, because I don't really want to collect them. I just need one to use for the LTCC Radio phone line. That's also going to be part of the refurbishments. We're going to get the phone lines sorted. So, yeah, we'll get everything sorted soon, but we need about a month or so to get it sorted.
This is LTCC Radio.
The telephones are ringing.
Joseph Crossland.
So, yeah, we'll get all that sorted for you. Well, for all our, if we even get any listeners soon. But we are, like I say, we are hoping to expand the radio station. So, that's it from me. That's all I've really got to say. Chris is on next. So I'll say goodbye now, and Chris Hendrick on LTCC Radio will be next.
The latest news for the Lumline Telephone Society.
The telephones are ringing.
This is LTCC Radio.
With the latest news for the Landline Telephone Society, I'm Panasonic Guy. It has been an eventful week for the members of the Landline Telephone Society. Rod recently got some new phones, including the new Panasonic KX-TGU cordless telephone. More work is being done on the LTS Community PBX and website. I have been to the thrift store recently and got some new phones. A new collaboration short has been posted on our official Landline Telephone Society YouTube channel, and more videos will come soon. Unfortunately, this will be our last radio show for a while. The radio will be closed for refurbishments for the next month or so. That's the latest for now. For an update anytime, go back at any time during the show. And now, coming up onto our weather here in Cranbrook, it was currently reported as 6 degrees with winds of 15 kilometers an hour, gusting to 23 kilometers an hour. In Vancouver, it was 8 degrees with light rain, with 20 kilometer an hour wind gusts. In Seattle, it was reported to be 7 degrees with winds of 9 kilometers an hour, gusts up to 13. In Shreveport, it was 22 degrees Celsius with 17 kilometer an hour wind gusts. And in Topeka, it was 19 degrees Celsius with 20 kilometer an hour winds gusting to 30. And in Derby, it was 11 degrees Celsius with winds of 30 kilometers an hour gusting to 45. And now, our traffic. Currently, I can see there are winter driving conditions all around the area, including this spot here. It's saying there is compact ice between the start and the end of this road here. I see there's construction work here. There is lands here. And then there's go west towards Canada. You can see there is wind gusts on the road. Like there are multiple wind gusts here.
This is LTCC Radio.
The telephones are ringing.
Chris Hendricks.
All right, so welcome, folks. And so right now, I am just trying to work on getting this thing installed. But anyways, so we're here. I'm going to talk about today. I'm probably going to talk about the community PBX thing, which I've worked on a lot lately, and I'm working on other things at the moment. But right now, we're going to talk about the community PBX. And so basically, I'm doing like multiple things at once, kind of. But so we have basically I'm working on a bunch of features with the community PBX, custom features that like usually don't see. It's mostly custom features, and so like we have for example, hold on. This is just an example here. Oh yeah, right. I have the ATA. I can just use that. Where the frick is the? I gotta get up for this. Here we go. So we can get on here, and then actually, I don't think I can demonstrate this. Yes, that I don't have now handset, but working on a bunch of custom features for this. I also got to work on the website too and finish that up, and then also optimize. I'm working on optimizing like the different phones and stuff with provisioning stuff. One of the features I want to bring in the future is automatic provisioning of phones, so that you can provision phones without having to provide us your MAC address, and that will allow for a lot more flexibility, make it a lot easier to bring phones to the system. You know, you can bring like any phone you want to our system, but compatible phones will be able to add them to the system without going through the struggle that you have to go through sometimes for certain features to work. It'll be really nice. And of course you could always manually configure the phones, but like sometimes, especially for like Polycoms, where like the what if features are not like you have to like provision them. Well, not provision them, you have to like modify the config files, and it will allow for like a lot more flexibility. And of course, I'm probably working on features every day, like with um new features and stuff. I'll show you one of the features we have currently. So we can dial 8 on the IVR when we call in to the system, and it will ask us for extension number. I'll enter my extension number. And then I have to fix that, but that basically lets you let you log in to the system. But you log into the system, and then you can like use the IVR and stuff. You can like control your extension from any phone. You know, or you can even use DISA and access your voicemails and stuff. It'll be a really nice feature once it works usually. I don't know why it's broken right now, but yeah. Actually, I'll try that again.
Thank you for calling on.
Oh, there we go. It works now. Yeah, see, it's working now.
So, to access your voicemail, press 1. The DISA, press 2.
Basically, I can use any phone number. I can like go on my cell phone, for example, dial a number or like a hotel phone or something. Dial in. I can use my extension with a DISA. I can use a DISA. I can access my voicemail. I can toggle D&D. Hopefully, in the future, I can toggle call forwarding, stuff like that. And then, of course, there's more things. Of course, we're working on features all the time with this, and yeah, one of the features we have here with this system, we have a ton of features. So yeah. And then about LTCC Radio, we're going to be going under a refurbishment soon. You're going to go over refurbishment soon, where we're going to kind of improve, make LTCC Radio great again. And that's pretty much it for my show. So thank you for listening. And that's it. And yeah, me and Joy will be talking about refurbishment and opening a feedback show. So yeah, that's what's coming up next on LTCC Radio.
The latest news for the Lumline Telephone Society.
The telephones are ringing.
This is LTCC Radio.
With the latest news for the Landline Telephone Society, I'm Panasonic Guy. It has been an eventful week for the members of the Landline Telephone Society. Rod recently got some new phones, including the new Panasonic KX-TGU cordless telephone. More work is being done on the LTS Community PBX and website. I have been to the thrift store recently and got some new phones. A new collaboration short has been posted on our official Landline Telephone Society YouTube channel, and more videos will come soon. Unfortunately, this will be our last radio show for a while. The radio will be closed for refurbishments for the next month or so. That's the latest for now. For an update anytime, go back at any time during the show. And now, coming up onto our weather in Cranbrook, it was currently reported as 6 degrees with winds of 15 kilometers an hour, gusting to 23 kilometers an hour. In Vancouver, it was 8 degrees with light rain, with 20 kilometer an hour wind gusts. In Seattle, it was reported to be 7 degrees, with winds of 9 kilometers an hour, gusts up to 13. In Shreveport, it was 22 degrees Celsius, with 17 kilometer an hour wind gusts. And in Topeka, it was 19 degrees Celsius, with 20 kilometer an hour winds gusting to 30. And in Derby, it was 11 degrees Celsius, with winds of 30 kilometers an hour gusting to 45. And now, our traffic, currently, I can see there are winter driving conditions all around the area, including this spot here. It's where there's compact ice between the starting and this road here. I see there's construction work here. There is planned ones here. And then there's going west over towards Cranbrook. You can see there is wind gusts on the road. There are multiple wind gusts here.
This is LTCC Radio.
Well, that wasn't much of an introduction. But I guess it'll have to do. Hello, it's Joey here, that electrics guy with you. This is our feedback show. So during this, I will be interviewing Chris Hendricks, also known as Captain Chris, about LTCC Radio and LTS, and we're going to be taking your feedback, and we're also going to be feedbacking each other about the way our shows, videos, and even our website and community are presented. So that's all going to be coming up. So, Chris, hello. Chris Hendricks, hello.
Hello.
So what does LTCC Radio mean to you?
It's kind of like, for me personally, it's kind of like where like we have like we record it like every weekend or something like that, and then like it's kind of like an archive of like what's going to go like on every week with our community. Not I don't 100% see it as like a true radio show, but more like an archive of like what's happening with LTCC in kind of like a more of a radio format.
I'd say to that, it's not just what's happening in LTCC. We broadcast a lot about LTS. It's only called LTCC Radio because only LTCC are broadcasting on this show. But really, this show is all about the community and stuff. And of course, we're not a little radio. No, of course we are a little radio show, and we're not a proper radio show. But we make do with what we've got. And honestly, I think with time, hopefully, if we try and do a few more things, this is part of our refurbishment project. We're going to try and get more members. We might try and do things differently. And that's why we want this feedback show. So if anyone is listening, what do you want to see on this show? That's what we want to know. Because we're taking the time to do this refurbishment because we just want to know what's working for you. Chris, what do you think we could add onto the show?
One thing, if you're watching the rerun or something, you want to get if you want to touch in that question, you can contact us. Contact at landlinetelephonsociety.com. Make sure you specify it's about LTCC Radio, and yeah.
You can contact me on Joseph Crossland at landlinetelephonsociety.com. You can also comment in the YouTube live chat. They're the ways that you can get into contact today.
All right, what was your question again about the last question?
What would you like to see in LTCC Radio? What would you like?
That's kind of a hard question for me to answer personally, but like, I think I kind of want to see more shows. Let's have like more shows with more LTCC members, everything like that.
And that could be. Oh, sorry.
And yeah, and also I like to see the more growth with it too, with this whole project.
And that could be part of our refurbishment. We could have, because we have a group chat in Discord for the LTS YouTube channel and LTCC Radio. So we could have a time where we can discuss things that we think can make it better. But what I want to see in LTCC Radio, of course, more shows. And I'm trying to get more shows. It's just difficult with time availability, whether people are going through stuff. And it's sort of, we do sort of need more, but we also need to, I think I need to plan in advance more, and I think we all need to plan in advance more about it. But like I say, everyone's getting a break for a month from the actual show, but we will have to be talking about renovations and stuff.
Yeah.
So that's what I want to sort of see. Is there anything that you think about maybe other stuff, not just LTCC Radio, but what's your whole sort of opinion about the projects at the minute, all the projects?
I think we're doing great. With LTS, I think we're on track. We're getting a lot of new members. Community PBX is driving a lot of people in. One thing we need to focus on is the wiki. We need to get the LTS wiki up and running because we have not really used that very much.
I'd say if this show was big, we'd be able to advertise the wiki or do a show specifically about the wiki. But there's one person watching us right now, and it's probably one of us.
Yeah. Yeah.
But all these changes can hopefully lead to a great community. We've had a message in from RJ Phones, and what we want to know from you guys is feedback for the LTCC Radio. I want to know from you guys. You can do it on the YouTube live, or you can email Joseph Crossland at landlinetelephonsociety.com. What I want to know from you guys is, what would you like to see on the show, or what's your feedback on our show? What do you think we could improve on? Chris, do you think there's anything we could improve on?
I think, okay, here's a few feedback I have. So one, I don't think the news, personally, having the news in between every show is necessary. That at least until we don't, like, at least for now. And like in the future, that might be the case where when we have a lot more shows going on, and and the actual show is a lot longer. However, the right now with the amount of shows, I don't think it's completely necessary to have it between every show. Also, I think we need to kind of improve on like the timing of like the sound effects, and also I think we need like to practice a lot more. We also need to go through practice, maybe go through some practice once before every show.
Of course. Now, the reason why I've decided to keep the news between shows is more because we have travel updates and weather updates as well. But also, it's sort of like a break for us so we can think about what we're going to do on our show. That's why I have the news. And I do like the news as well because it means that because the news reporters aren't on as long as the show, they get to have a bit more time between each show. So I do like the fact that we do have news, and I do think we will keep that. But I know what you say about the timing. We need to have practice. We need to have drafts, which we need to... And another thing, I feel like we should have a booking thing in the LTS server under the LTCC radio. We need to have we need to book a meeting in sort of button where we have to arrange a meeting about this stuff when we're all available. I think we do need to plan more like that where we all have a meeting about what we're going to do. So we do need to find time for that. But obviously there's loads of big projects going on, so we can't focus that much on the radio. I mean, I can, but with all the other projects going on, it's going to be hard to sort of focus on one project that's not that important.
Hey, Joey, sorry to interrupt, but I'll post something in the private chat. Don't say this out loud, but it's kind of funny.
Okay.
Maybe, depending on how you.
Okay.
Okay. So, what were you saying again? Sorry to interrupt.
That's all right. I've sent something back in the private chat. Wait. 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 Wait, I've sent one more thing. Wait. Right, look at this last one.
Oh my god.
We've got some feedback, Chris. So that's going well. So let's it's RJ's phones. An idea is to show the thanks for tuning in thing, but after a minute or two, cast a screen and show the wiki. The thing is, we can't do that because we're trying to do it as a radio show. We can't cast screens about wiki. They wouldn't do that on a radio. They'd probably post stuff on their social media about it, but we can't really do that on the radio, can we, Chris?
No, we can't, because it's meant to be able to be listenable.
This is meant to resemble a radio station. And one day we will look into having another platform. But for now, StreamYard is actually great. It's got in the media assets, but it's got all of our identities and stuff, which are made by me. So I'd say what the software that we have at the minute, would you say it's all right, Chris?
For now, for how scale it is, probably, yeah, but also we can probably switch some more professional software in the future. That'll give us a lot more functionality and features with this. It'll be a lot better than what we have currently. But that's something to look into when we start growing and, have more popularity.
When we do start growing, that's a good idea. So what I think we will switch to is faders. I think we should switch to faders that have a USB stick in them. So we switch between faders for whose idents we want and stuff. Maybe that would help with the timing. We'd be able to use faders.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping faders would work. What do you think about incorporating faders into the landline?
Well, I don't know. I don't know anything about what you're talking about. What kind of my idea was with this radio is like use OBS or something, and like we can have like a screen that's a dynamic screen. Oh my god, I can't speak. That changes.
Captain Crash Out,
Caption crash out, but like we have like the software that like automatically changes the screen as we switch shows, so we don't have to switch it automatically. And we can also use like a soundboard or something for the sounds. That like what we have with it is like we can press on buttons for certain sounds. We can also change the music. And like for example, with like the weather, with like the travel music, it will start off loud, but as someone speaks, it would kind of get quiet automatically.
That could be a good idea, and that's why faders would come in handy, because if we can't get it to do it automatically, we can still. So do you want me to explain to you what a fader is, just for a few, because a lot of radio stations use them. So they're almost like dimmer switchers. They work in the same way as dimmer switchers, but for sound. So you put the fader up, audio plays, then you'll press a button to press play, and as you move the fader down, instead of the light going dimmer, the sound goes quieter. And I think that could be a way to incorporate, that might be a good way, because we're not having to use a screen then to touch the buttons and stuff. We just have a physical button connected. So what would you think to that?
Yeah, that'd probably be nice. The thing is, though, a physical button would be hard because, like, we're all remote and stuff. We're not, like, in the same room.
Yeah, but I control everything anyway. So we wouldn't need to be in the same room.
Yeah.
And it might help with my timing. And I'd say since putting a plan in, things have been better. But sometimes I blank out and then I forget that I've got to do something, and then I leave it till the last minute. Plus I have a lot of tasks to do in the background, because I've got to change the profile for like the image that shows up on your screen. I've got all them, and then I've got to change the sound, change the volume, change the fade and stuff. So it is a lot of work.
So we can have like a bunch of animation and do that automatically.
A hotkey would be better as well, because we could then just click. We could then have a time schedule for our show, because that's what we don't have. We need a time schedule.
Do you know what? By the way, I know they're kind of expensive, but you know what an Elgato Stream Deck is?
Stream Deck. What? Hold on. What's the name of it?
It's an Elgato Stream Deck. It's basically they're kind of expensive, but there's like these big. It's like this 12, 13, 14 a button panel that you put in your desk or something like that, and you can press a button on it and it'll do different things, and like they're programmable and stuff.
So the buttons that are on it, can you change what they do, even though the icons are...
You can change the icons too. They have like LCD screens behind them. Behind each button, you can change the icon for each one.
That could be good, but wait, there's one here that has faders on it, I think. I found one that's got faders.
That would actually work pretty well.
Let's see how much it is.
It's like, I bet it's gonna be really expensive though.
You're lucky I wasn't drinking anything then when I saw that price tag. That would have gone all over the floor if I was. Yeah, there's no way I'd pay that. You could probably... I'll tell you this in private chat.
All right.
Wait.
Well, I'm sure you can get one cheaper on eBay or something like that.
Or get a used one. So how do you control them? It's not like an IP web interface in it.
No. See, you plug it into your computer, and then they have like a software on your computer where you can like change the buttons and stuff. We can have macros and do stuff like that.
I might think about that, Chris. I'd have to find a cheap one though. I'm not paying for that.
Yeah.
Oh, right. I would want one that's got the fader controls, though. I have
That'd
to
be
figure
pretty
out
nice.
what was that software you were talking about though earlier about the sound that has like a digital sound display.
What are you talking about? OBS? Basically,
Yeah,
OBS.
that's it. OBS.
Okay, so OBS would basically just be for streaming to YouTube Live and RTSP, and so that would just handle that part. It would handle multi streaming and stuff.
What's it
But
called? LVS.
no, OBS. It's software, but it would not handle like the audio. We'd probably use some like radio software that's free, preferably open source, but free and like that we can have it on it, and
Yeah.
and the software would stream. OBS would receive like a stream from like IceCast or something like that. It would receive that, so you see that stream, it would handle that, and then like we can have some automation software that can like automatically control like what screen's on it. And OBS is completely free. I think it's open source too. So
We'd have to look into that at a separate time. So we might have a look at using that, but at the same time, yes, we might ditch StreamYard. So are you saying with LVS as well, we can have other OVS as well, we can have other platforms?
yeah, correct.
Instead of just YouTube?
Yeah, you listen on YouTube Live. The telephones are ringing.
Well, that's why I got rid of that's the thing. If you haven't noticed, I've got rid of listen on YouTube Live just for that, because it won't just be YouTube Live we listen on now, will it?
Yeah, correct.
So that's why. Anyway, that's another thing. I'm debating. Here's another thing. Do you think we should go with a new package for when we come back to do with the idents and
I
jingles?
think those other jingles right now are actually pretty good. However, I don't think there's currently any need to change them, at least for a long time.
Especially the one I definitely won't be changing, even though it's getting quite old, is the news one, because I really like the news one.
Yeah.
I think it sounds like a real news countdown.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I find no need to change that. I have made a new one, but that's for Kenan and Hunter's show, because theirs is going to be like the Cisco show and the Analog show.
Right.
But ours will still stay the same.
Yeah.
So, yeah, is there anything else really that should be pointed out about any of our resources, do you think, Chris, that we should talk about and get people's feedback on?
Possibly. Not right now, I don't think. I think we just kind of discussed everything.
What about the community PBX?
I think we're doing great with that right now. I don't
I wouldn't say
feedback
wise, but I just want to point a few things out with it. I want to point out that it's really good for like features, and I didn't realize that you'd be able to put SCCP on it, so that's kind of good.
Yeah.
So did you have to buy an interface for that?
No, it's all software. It's all IP. It's just on like a VPS. It's all like it's all firm. So not firmware, software. Like you can install this on like any computer. Like you get an old computer, you can install the PBX software, or install like Asterisk, install SCCP, install everything. You can make it public, and you open 5060, open 10,000, 20,000. Bam, yeah, you have a community PBX now. So
you must have to have wrecked a lot of computers to use free PBX. Like you must have had to sacrifice loads for the amount of systems you have.
Actually, no, I haven't. Like, I don't know. We're just paying for Rod is paying for the VPS. We're just paying for the VPS for it. It costs him $20, something $40 for like a 6-month package or something like that, or for a 6-month package for the VPS, and then you have access. We have a dev. It's running CentOS actually, but we have a VPS we can install. We have the VPS with all the software on it. It runs great, actually.
Well,
Yeah.
thank you, Chris.
Mhm.
Thank you very much for this talk. Is there anything else you'd quickly like to say?
Not much, but if you don't like to touch on any topics, you can contact us. Contact Joe directly, Joseph Crosswind at landlinetelephone.society.com, or you can contact the entire team directly. Contact at landlinetelephone.society.com. And we're looking forward to having LTCC Radio grow in the future. Get more LTS members in and going, get this ball running for it's kind of like it could be kind of nice watching this whole thing grow, especially because this channel. Once we get more videos and stuff, we can build a channel and get going.
Well, thank you very much. That is Chris Hendricks here on your LTCC Radio, feedbacking for me, Joseph Crossland, today. So it's been a pleasure listening. Thank you for listening.